A very good morning to all of you. I'll start with the climate change, the global effect of climate change. Then I'll shift towards, I'll emphasize on the Indian role on climate change, particularly Delhi scenario, and role of media and individuals in combating the situation. Okay, first of all, I just want to know how many of you are aware towards the climate. What is climate? Anybody? Raise your hands. Okay. See, we all of us know about weather conditions, rain, summers, the cycle of various weathers we have. If the characteristics of weather persist for a longer time, the common characteristics for say about 30 years, if they are common all over the 30 years, then we will conclude that it is the permanent climate of that particular area. So this nature of climate enhance the sustainability of various species on the earth, living organisms of the earth, and they have the adaptability with climatic conditions of that very environment. So what is going on if we see within our interglacial period, the current interglacial period, for 10,000 years, we have seen a kind of characteristic, the climatic conditions that are beneficial for the survivability of various species and organic living organisms. But during the last 100 to 200 years, the climate conditions are changing. Now we are shifting towards more warmer environment, and which is not good for endemic species. Endemic species means the species which are adapted to the various environments, the particular environments. Once those endemic species come out from that particular area, they won't be able to survive. And the warmer conditions, now they are posing a threat towards those endemic species. And that is how we see that biodiversity at a large is at threat due to climatic change. Now, what is going on at a global level? Temperature is increasing by 0.25% to 1% as a decade grows. And estimates are there that it will more on increase, and it will reach at a level of 3.5 degrees centigrade higher degree by 2050. So that will again a threat, and we see it will have an impact on other environmental conditions like glacial melting. Then we have sea level rise, okay? And we all know that we have limited terrestrial land, we have limited terrestrial area for human beings to survive, for other animals and other living organisms to survive, who are basically adapted to the terrestrial land, not the sea level. Then the terrestrial land will squeeze down, and more pressure of population will come towards the land area, the landlocked area. Then the problem will also be faced by the sea life, the marine life, because marine life also need fresh water. Fresh water means where salt, the alkalinity level is not very high. If the pH value of water increases, as we know that Dead Sea has the pH value of 35, and that is why there is no life in Dead Sea, and that is why the name has given Dead Sea. So we see that salinity will increase, because sea will hamper the sea level, the increased sea level will hamper the backwaters, the lagoon, the estuaries, the water bodies which have life, which have biodiversity. So thus it is impacting, it is affecting, and there are ill effects of climatic changes everywhere seen. Now, how human life is related to it. See, our life is totally dependent on natural resources. Food resources, forest resources. For economic growth, we need infrastructure development, which is basically and again dependent on mineral resources. So all these things are dependent on nature. Our total survival is dependent on nature. And what will going to happen, that after the ill impact of climate change on biodiversity, we are going to lose those natural resources. Whether you say about food or the medicinal plant, I think Aarti ma'am will give more emphasis on medicinal value of plants. So we are at the verge of threat from the climate change, and we human beings are increasing. Basically, see, nature has a balance within itself. Whether you talk about hydrological balance, whether you talk about carbon balance or solar radiation, we have balance within the system of nature. The solar heat, whatever come on the earth, it used to be absorbed, a little amount of it is absorbed by the greenhouse gases, and other is reflected back. So we maintain, the nature maintain that balance. Hydrological cycle, through evapotranspiration, through transpiration, we see there is a balance maintained and a hydrological cycle is going on. Likewise, we see a carbon cycle within the system of nature. Whatever carbon emission is done, it has been observed by plants. It is observed by plants because in photosynthesis, the plants use that carbon dioxide emitted by human beings or other living organisms. So nature has that system of balancing within itself. But if we see, basically, and especially after industrial revolution, the carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases are on increase because of man-made activities. So man, the anthropogenic reasons are behind the increase in the temperature on Earth. And which are the GHGs, which are the greenhouse gases? There are basically 4 prominent greenhouse gases. Those are carbon dioxide, methane, chlorofluorocarbons, then nitrous oxide. And if we see within the sphere of Delhi, we can see that how we are increasing those greenhouse gases. The greenhouse gases basically absorb the heat, the solar heat, and thus they keep the earth warm. But if these gases which absorb the solar heat, if these gases increase from the amount which is needed for a balance, then it will, the ill effect of it will be seen in the result of climatic change. So these 4 gases, how they do they work? We all know carbon dioxide emission through transportation, through industrial growth, through human activities in fossil fuel burning. Then we can see all over Delhi we have solid waste landfill area. All those solid waste landfill areas are the major source of methane. And methane contributes, those landfill area contributes at least 15% of the GHGs, the greenhouse gases. Then again, nitrous oxide. We are regularly cutting the forest area. We are increasing the deforestation, and we don't giving back the nature what is needed for that maintenance of balance. So we are increasing the nitrous oxide, which in result again is a reason for forest fires. In forest fires, there is nitrogen oxide is again emitting. And through forest fires, we are losing the biodiversity, we are losing the medicinal plants which are related to health. Okay, then we see the health effects in solar, in terms of direct health effects. We can see that through solar radiations, the cases of cancer increased, skin irritations, skin infections. Then because we don't have any balance, we don't have a unity or uniformity all over the regions, so we see indirect effects of global warming as well, the climate change as well, in terms of floods, in terms of droughts, which again increases the health related problems. For example, we have just a case in Delhi. We have seen some, we have heard sometimes before about cloud bursts in Delhi. I think nobody of us had ever heard about cloud bursts in Delhi before that. So that is the direct impact of climate change, that we are observing a cloud burst in the Delhi where we don't have hilly region. Except Aravali, we don't have much of the hilly region in Delhi, but we are facing such problems. And we see that the human life is lost during those periods, during those natural disasters. Then we also see that in summers we have problem in the drier areas of particulate matter and dust particles as well as pollen. All are flying in the atmosphere, and they are the reason for lung diseases. They are reason for various throat infections as well as eye irritation. So all these are interconnected. Then in drought areas, in flood areas, we all know about the how floods or any such natural disaster affect our health. Okay, so this is all related to climate change somewhere. Now, if we speak about Indian scenario, we find that in India there are this is the figure, this is the data of 2000, that India in terms of per capita emitted 1.3% of GHGs, greenhouse gases, which was the global level is 3.9. And if we talk about the developed nations, they are at the top of the list. If you speak about US, the data is 23% the per capita in tons GHGs. Then Japan, 10 tons per capita GHG emission. In comparison, our country is not at the top level in carbon emission or in GHG emissions, but yet we face the challenges from climatic conditions at the most. Because though we have limited land capacity, we are not emitting much of the GHGs, but because of population pressure, we have the developing countries have 75% of the world population. Though they emit only 15% of the greenhouse gases, still we are at the worst condition because we have a large population to survive. We don't have technologies, good technologies to tackle with the problem. We don't have much of the natural resources, which are again underexploited because of technological lag. So we are not able, we are not in condition to sustain the challenges posed by the climate change upon us. So here in India, though we are not contributing much to the carbon emission, but we have a very important role to play towards that cut, towards the emission cut, because we are the people who are facing most of the challenges, most of the problems posed by these conditions, posed by the problem at the global level. So what we can do, we can see, all of us know that climate change has posed direct problems of vector-borne diseases, waterborne diseases, I think all of you are medical students, so I need not to emphasize upon those issues. I am just coming towards the role of media and role of individual in that case. So here, role of media is not only limited for an awareness, though awareness is thrust upon, because in India, illiteracy is still a problem. People don't know about the climatic changes. They don't know about their environment and sustainability of our environment, what are the do's and don'ts. So media has to play a role here. And we have various wings of media, like traditional media, which works in villages, in the form of street plays, in the form of nukkad nataks and folk songs, folk dances. They improvise their message in those forms, and they try to reach to the audiences, which are basically rural folk or the illiterate people. Then we have electronic media, the television, the radio, which has a vast reach, more than 99%, if we talk about government figures. Then we have print media for urban as well as some of the rural folks. Along with the stories, news stories, we have advertising, which is done most of the time by government to make people aware. But the role is not limited till this point. We need to regularly follow those messages. We need to continue those messages along with some of the messages which will be totally action-oriented. We all know that climate change is happening, but what can we do? Now, media need a shift from objective stories towards informative stories as well as interpretive stories. We know that we should build a water treatment plant, but how can we build that water treatment plant? How can we establish a solar panel for solar energy in our homes? So all those information should be given, should be imparted by media. Here media has to play a role more effectively and with an applied approach. It should be done. Now if we come to individual point, individual has the tool of new media, which is very important today. All of us, I think nobody in this house, in this hall, will deny that they don't use any tool of new media, whether it is social networking sites or any website or internet as a whole. All of us use internet. We need now to spread those messages further. We get a message through the tool of new media, through the tool of social networking site. Now it's our role, it's our duty to impart that message further. That will be a role of messenger, which is imposed on individual. And along with this, we also contribute, we can contribute through various means, through changing our habits. Like we all know that we should not waste much of the products. That should be done. We all know that energy efficient mechanisms are there, and we need to use those mechanisms for efficient use of energy, so that that cannot be a problem towards our environment. So all that should be done by individual effort, and we need to change our habits for it. We need to inculcate our habit towards eco-friendly devices. Okay. Moreover, I just want to, I skipped a point here, that climate change does not only hamper your biological health, it hampers your social health as well, because mentally you get stress. If heating conditions persist and more of temperature increases, it will affect your mental status as well. It will give you stress, it will give you anxiety, and in return that anxiety, that mental stress, it will hamper your family life. and your health, social health is spoiled, gets spoiled. So we need to look into the matter, and a holistic approach is needed. An integrated approach is needed where every person, every single person has some role to play or the other. And only a collaborative effort can tackle this problem. With this, all the health institutions, all the media institutions, all the individuals educated, they should collaborate, they should further the awareness campaign, they should also make a network that how we can combat these problems and what are the mechanisms, because we go through those mechanisms in our life today or tomorrow. We need to just observe those mechanisms, we need to transform those mechanisms with the present mechanisms, and we need to further impart those knowledge to our friends, to our colleagues, and whoever is the needy in that sense. Moreover, health institutions here have a responsibility of not only looking into the biological health of the people, but also they have a role to play for counseling, so that this anxiety level, the stress level can be combated, and further improvement in habits of people could be increased, could be included within our everyday life. So I'll conclude here that we need to go further, and so far whatever has been done, we need to follow it and continuously keep that message on, and that will be the way to combat the climate change. Okay, thank you very much.